Hey, dude.
Hey man, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How's it going?
It's going great, but not quite as good as it looks like for you. It looks
Uh,
like nice palm tree weather.
Behold,
Yes,
California. Yeah, we're doing a charity event down here, Santa Clara, which is beautiful area, San Jose, kind of south of San Francisco. And so we're here this week for our big charity event. Got a donor dinner tonight, and yeah, we're really excited about it. So I'm having a broadcast live from the back patio. So
very cool. Love it.
yeah,
Well, we
yeah,
got a
yeah,
great tip of the week for everyone. It was a Forbes article that I came across that talked about sort of the four big challenges
yeah,
of profitability for e-commerce sellers. And it basically how to get to scale. It's talking about really big e-commerce brands that are a few of them have gone public in the last few years, and so being a public company, they have to disclose more of their profitability and
yeah.
all of those different things that go with being a publicly traded company. So it's insight into that, and this
It's
is
a
sort
good
of what took
article.
action. Yeah,
We'll link it up, right?
for sure. We'll definitely have the
Okay.
links so people can check it out.
Yeah,
But
I liked it.
in essence, it came down to the biggest challenges being that information was out there for everybody, so people can price shop you.
Yeah,
It's not you're not as unique. You're not the
yeah.
snowflake you used to be. Scalability is still difficult no matter who you are, especially when you're competing against if you are competing against Amazon, right? Like they already have scale.
Yep.
Returns are still an expensive undertaking for e-commerce and growing. So their trend is that returns are actually increasing, becoming a more expensive cost, and then shipping costs aren't going
Okay.
anywhere,
Yeah.
and still count for 85% of all the e-commerce sales in the U.S. include free shipping
Which has
promotion
become
to
a
it.
normal thing, but it eats into your profit.
But it eats into, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
So what is then? How do we, even as smaller scale retailers,
Yep.
how do we account for that? And what's our big takeaway from this article? And how can we process that?
Yeah. It was a great article. Everybody should read it. You want me to share my
Yeah,
takeaway? You want to share a
go for it.
takeaway? What do you want to do?
Go
Yeah.
for it first, and then I'll share mine.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's two things. First of all, when I read the article, it's geared towards bigger e-commerce brands, but
Sure.
us little guys, the people who are making the 6 and 7 figure sales, numbers annually, could learn a lot from the article. And the thing that stood out to me was that a lot of venture funded e-commerce efforts will it's all about top line sales. They focus on top line sales. That's what they're pushing towards. They want to get market share. But for us little guys, and maybe because I've had to live off this money, my e-commerce money, I've had to live off it for 10 years, or at least we needed it when we started. And then when I retired from the 9 to 5 on January 1st, 2014, ever since then, I couldn't be unprofitable. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So for me, it was like, okay, one of the first lessons in e-commerce is don't just focus on top line sales, always focus on the net profit involved and how much your income is going to be, your take home out of the business. And that lesson is really super fundamental. And if you start an e-commerce business, with no disrespect, as a side hustle or venture funded with other people's money, you just don't feel it's like running your car with really awesome shock absorbers,
Mm-hmm.
but with no shock absorbers, you're like, oh my god, I just blew $4,000 this month. I needed to use that for my mortgage or whatever. You instantly have to rationalize the net profit when you're really running your own business. And I just encourage every startup entrepreneur, focus on your net profit, your margins. Don't worry so much about top line sales. Those will happen if you get your business fundamentals on lockdown. So that was sort of the main takeaway for me, is just, you know, lessons learned that you can't fake your way to a good business by just selling a lot but not having any net profit,
Yeah.
at any level. I mean, it doesn't work. You can fool yourself if you want, but even like in a big company, it doesn't work for the long term if someone's not making money. Um, and that was my main takeaway. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
How about
I,
you?
it very, very similar. I really do feel like profitability becomes sort of the linchpin of really the metric, the gold standard where
Yeah.
you hang your hat. Top line sales look great on paper, but They don't really matter. And they don't really matter at the end, one, because you're not going to be getting paid,
Right.
honestly. And two, like if whenever you go to sort of value your company, they don't be like, hey, look at your top line sales. Great. We're going to go with that number. No, they're going to go with
They
what the
never do.
profitability of the company, right? Like
Yeah.
that's really what matters.
Yep.
So focusing on that now
Yeah.
is a skill set that you begin to flex and grow and get better in over time.
Sure.
At the beginning, your focus is, how do I create a great product?
Yeah.
How do I sell that product? And that's the skill set you spend your time and energy and focus on developing, and rightly so. But there's a transitionary period that has to happen where you go, okay, I have these down. The next most important skill set that incorporates all those things is profitability.
Right.
So I do agree. I do think that
any other takeaways that stood out?
Yeah. The other thing that I think that was interesting for me was thinking about the levers in the business that you do have control over. That are cost levers.
Yeah.
So there are fixed costs in your business that you can't control.
Sure.
For example, if you're an Amazon seller, you're going to pay Amazon 15%. It's the referral fee. You're not going to be able to negotiate with Amazon on that number. Now, but there are things that you can't have direct control over.
Yep.
You can control how much you're spending on your advertising.
Yep.
You can control how much your storage fees are. You can control how much your even some of your inventory, like the costs are associated with how you're doing your packaging.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you actually looked at your packaging in a more critical way, you could say, I can squeeze this down and actually reduce the size of it. And that actually will save me from, additional costs with that. So
another big one, just to add in, to tack on another one, is staffing, of course.
Absolutely.
Is the biggest expense.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
People can blow so much money on it. It's just amazing. You can hire someone in the Philippines for a couple $100 a month to do something, or you can hire somebody and pay them $10,000 a month. It's so weird. Staffing is so bizarre.
Yeah,
that can be a huge expense. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So being aware of what those are, understand them in your business, and be able to control them, turning them up and down, based on the goals and what the feedback and the data that you're getting. That's sort of the next level. So understanding profitability and understanding those cost levers, and be able to manipulate those, or sort of that next level entrepreneur, business owner, manager that really takes to get to scale. And I guess the last sort of takeaway, which I thought was good, was the guy who sort of wrote this article on Forbes said, bottom line, at the end of the day, it's really not a focus on top line revenue. It's really a focus on long-term customer value and how you generate that for the long term. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was smart. Like, I think that we get so obsessed in acquiring a customer that once we've acquired the customer, we forget about the customer, and we don't really spend a lot of our time maximizing that relationship and actually providing them additional products and services for the long term. It's all about the new customer we get obsessed with, and I think that's a critical mistake.
Awesome, man. Love this as a tip of the week. So a couple takeaways: read the article. We've linked it below. Learn more about the e-commerce industry. But then remember, it's a focus on net profit, not on top line sales. And you've got areas of your business you can control that you want to look at, monitor, and what you measure matters, and what measures gets changed. And so looking really clearly at your expenses, huge part of success. So let's wrap it up there. If you like this tip of the week, of course, check out our others at winningonshopify.com or winning.online.com. Our brands are changing a little bit. Might even change more in the future. But let's wrap it up there. But give us a like, love, comment, share wherever you see this. And we're honored to be able to connect with you. We do have Inner Circle program and coaching program opportunities available. Check those out on the website. It would be an honor to work with you. And we're going to wrap it up here, but we're going to actually multitask or batch these. And so we're going to record another one for this coming week as well. And so we'll be back and continue this conversation in just a few minutes. And so that'll be fun next step. All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Bye.